1, 2, yeah. Winning games, Basewinner.com. Yeah.
All right, Basewinner Crunch podcast. Back for the Thursday card after a rare day off yesterday. In fact, it might be the first Wednesday card I've missed in 2 years or since we started doing this. And what happened is I just got involved in meetings and they went a lot longer than I thought they would. So my apologies to you. And just so you know, we're going to run the show most days, every day. Every now and then there's going to be a one-off when I can't do it or Mike can't do it, except for Saturday. Saturday, the plan is to go dark for the Sunday card, unless Mike decides he wants to do it. But it's either going to be with Mike or it's going to be dark on Saturday. The rest of the time, there will be a podcast. And so having said that, let's go over today's podcast. I'm going to break into a game. I'm going to go into that Arizona game because there's some things I like in there, and things about the crunch that I want to point out. But before we do that, Mike sent me a list of housekeeping questions from our members, and they're really good questions. And so I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions before we get into the San Francisco-Arizona game. And in doing that, I'm going to go over one of the other games too, a little bit at least. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first question is, is the unit to win or risk? And this is the easiest one. It's to risk. And we did it. It's a change from last year because we used to do units to win the unit, but now it's to risk. And the reason that we're doing it is because the main reason for me is because I want to give a little bit more weight to our underdog plays, and and I also want to be able to lay some heavy wood, and sometimes, I mean, if you're risking a unit on a minus 300 play, that's I don't want to lose 3 units on a play if it goes down. So it kind of keeps big favorites like that in perspective, and it's pretty simple. It's just a change from last year. So we will say we would just give you the unit amount, and then the risk, I'll show you a little trick to do it. It's really easy. Okay, so I reframed it. So we're going to take a look. So this is a good example. It's this LA Dodger game. The line started off at minus 220. And so if you're going to, we put it out at 0.67 units. So if it was going to be a 1 unit play, we would say it'd be 100 divided by the absolute value of the odds. So 100 divided by 220, you would risk, if you're betting $100, $45.50. Now, since we're doing 0.67, and this is actually a really good example because it's 0.67, you just do equals 67, which is the amount of the bet, divided by the absolute value of the odds, and that's what you're going to risk, 0.305, and then you put that into your betting account, and it's going to come out to be whatever the risk, whatever the unit that we're suggesting it is. So, and there's the guys, some of the book, I know bet 5 Dimes rather, they've got, you can just do it to risk, but you have to go into a different page. So this is an easy way to do it, and it's pretty basic. So that answers the first question. It's to risk. We're risking the unit as our bet number. And the second question is, how do you read the Basewinner chart? This is a good question. What the categories mean and how to determine where the value is. And I'll just touch on that real fast. It's pretty simple. We're going to send you a chart out. First of all, the categories are fairly self-explanatory. We're going to have we had an explanation, a glossary, and on our site, the old Basewinner site. So as transitioning into Clear Data Sports, there's a lot of legacy material that we got to put back on there. And it's on there. It's just not very prominent. So I'm going to reblog it here in the next couple of days. I want to make a couple of updates because there's some things I would like to clarify a little bit better, and it'll go into all the categories and kind of a basic description of what they mean. And okay, so the next question is, how do you determine? So let's just say that this was we didn't have these odds here. So let's put these over. Oops, we'll put a black. Okay, so let's just say we didn't know the odds, and we're going to send these charts down. These odds are moving like insanely. It's unbelievable how they're moving towards the base winner number. It's just I don't know if it's going to continue. And I said this all last year, and it did. And so it's great. It's really great for us. But so you get the odds chart, and it's like this. So how do you determine the value? Okay, it's a good question. It's roughly 2%. Is the way we do things as a rule of thumb. So really, if sometimes we decide to eliminate a game, and I'm going to go into how we determine 0.67 versus 1 in just a second. But if you bet a game that we have downgraded or we don't include, it really getting this early line is, I think, such a bonus. And the way we do it, so let's go back and see what the odds were is okay. Okay, so Milwaukee, we'll take a look at the Milwaukee game. We have a play on Milwaukee. So minus 134. Okay, so if the odds come out, let's say Milwaukee was minus 117, let's just say. So what you would do, and I'm going to send this chart out today, have Mike do it. You would take 134, so it's about just close to 57%, and 117 is 54%. There's a 3% difference in the probability. And that's kind of the magic number. So there was a game, I think the Dodgers were like minus 350 or something, 340. So that's close to 77%. Our line was, I don't know, minus 440 maybe. So there was a difference in that. We decided not to put that play out because it was ridiculous. But I mean, that would be something that if you saw and you're just like, hey, this Basewinner line, it's been good with this, and we have been pretty good with those big favorites. Then you would bet it to risk, you would risk whatever it was to win, I don't know, a 20th of a unit. So that's one of the reasons why we didn't put it in. But so that's how you compare it. It's 2% on this chart here. If the probability based on the American odds line, you take a look at our probability, you take a look at the opening probability. If it's greater than 2%, then there's a pretty darn good chance we're going to have a play on it. And this way, you guys can get ahead of the line, which is really valuable. So let's recover that. No fill here. Oops. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to be really brief on these next two questions. How do we determine 0.67 versus 1? Well, the main thing that we look at is the line disparity. So and this Milwaukee game is a perfect example. So it's minus 134. It's a really big line disparity from a percentage set. And then we go, we look at the percentage. So they're let's just say it's even odds. So 100 and they're minus 134. So big 7% probability discrepancy. So why didn't we make it a 1 unit or greater? Well, this is primarily, and there's a bunch of different ways we qualify it, and honestly, it's proprietary. We're going to build an algorithm that'll be automatic, and I just don't want to give it out. We give out a lot of stuff on our podcast about how we determine plays, but that's something that I'm going to have remain proprietary for now. But I can give you just kind of an example as you see it, and you get it without our recommendation. So this Senzatella, I can hardly pronounce the guy's name. So that's a good sign. If I can't pronounce the guy's name, it's going to be a downgraded play. It took me like 3, I think, go-arounds on the card last year to get Fultinovich's name right. But so, and I'm not just making a joke. There's reasoning behind that. The pitchers, if they don't have a track record, I consider the right reliability numbers, pretty. I mean, we like to look at 2 years data with our guys, and so you'll see we really downgraded a lot of plays last year towards the end of the season because they were bringing up scrubs, bringing up and down, and it really has to do, the bulk of it, there's some different other things that are something that we're not going to disclose, but the bulk of it has to do with this discrepancy in the line and then the reliability. So this guy to me is not very reliable. I like the discrepancy. It's a huge discrepancy, so that's why we're going at 0.67 units. So that pretty much gives you what you need to know on that. And so the elite underplays, this is exciting. Mike is going to start sending these in the mornings to pro subscribers, and Mike's really selective. I don't know. I can see how many we had last year. Let me just go and look at it real fast. Okay, so we had 98 plays total. So that's about, well, whatever, 90. Let me do the math here. It's about a play every other day. It's 98 divided by 180 days, roughly, in the major league season is 0.54. So just a little bit over a play every other day. Okay, so that answers the questions. Now, if you guys want us to answer a question, just email Mike, and if it needs description, he can get back to you if it's something we can do in an email. If not, if it needs a little bit more explanation, well, that's what I'm here doing the Crunch podcast for, to explain, clarify stuff, and clarify games on the card for the most part. But if you have questions as a customer, well, that's what we're all about. We want to be friendly to you. We want you guys to use the product to help your betting endeavors. That's the whole goal of the Basewinner team and the Clear Data Sports team, is we want to help you become better handicappers. So feel free to answer feel free to answer some questions for me too anytime, but feel free to ask any questions. We will try to get back to you and give you some clarification. So we're gonna go rapid fire because I want to keep these podcasts short. So we're gonna look right now. San Francisco, Arizona, Jeff Samardzija, Robbie Ray, and base winner line is -109. The odds makers started it off at -105, so we don't really like the value there, but we do like the under in this game. And the main reason for the under is we are high on Robbie Ray. We have him at an 82, and starting pitcher number, and Samardzija we have at 96. And one other thing I did want to point out on this game, that is the umpire. So it is DJ Rayburn. He's rated very low, meaning that when he umpires, runs are suppressed based on his sabermetrics indicate that runs would be suppressed. So it's a sabermetric number for the umpire last 3 years data. And let's see if I can get in the right match. That's pretty good first time. And you can see it. He's in there. These are his component ratings, his quick ERA. It's modified. It's not exactly the QERA. I've balanced it, I think, into a more predictive QERA. Strikeout percentage 108, 98, walk percentage 99, ground ball, total bases 99. And his rating goes into all of these crunch numbers within the formulas that create the probability line. So I wanted to show you before I sign out the umpire chart, and I'm going to go ahead and reframe it so I can do that. Okay, and here's the umpire chart. So you can see DJ, and I have it sorted in QERA, and this is over the last 3 years. So you can see DJ Rayburn, number 5. So he's by our numbers, based on his sabermetrics, he's going to suppress runs by 100 minus 93.8, about 6%. So it's a pretty low umpire rating. We're going to get really fancy with these umpire ratings this year, and it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be within the log cutter. We're going to look at a multiple of different metrics, including talent faced, park umpired in, and then we're also going to do some referencing as far as the zone. If let's say the guy doesn't call the low strike zone, but there's a pitcher that really likes to work that low strike zone. We're gonna do some correlation analysis with that. It's really exciting stuff. The umpires. It's really good now. I mean, nobody really has this or factors it into their model the way we do, but it's gonna get better. So that's the one thing I did want to point out on that game is the umpires and that we do take them into account. And if you don't think it's important, you guys should have watched that Colorado game. That Joe West was just squeezing Ottavino, and like he struck out like 4. Like they had 3 strikeouts, struck out the side, but it seems like he had like 5 strikeout pitches because there was 2 the right on. And it's so annoying when you watch it on the game day and it's a strike in the game day and the guy calls it a ball. It's like so annoying. They can really, with all this technology, they can't really automate that. It's beyond me. But anyway, so let's get back to the overview chart. Okay, and just to take a look at one of the other factors, the bullpen. We love San Francisco's bullpen. We don't, not so much in Arizona. So that's going to be kind of a fly in the ointment of our play. But the San Francisco pitching, the Arizona starting pitching, the under umpire, I think this is really good value. We're going to go 0.67 units for the under. It started at 9.5. We have a projection of 8.1 runs. Well, guys, appreciate all the listens, and hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. We can cash all these plays. Would be great for you. And, well, I just hope you have a great day in general as well. And, again, thanks for listening, and we'll be back for the Friday podcast. Fridays were great last year. I'll get into that tomorrow on that Friday podcast.
Basewinner.com, the way to make money. I bet you I'm not